Okay, day 151 on One Brotherhood. This is part 4. This is for Dan Scavino again in RT.com. It turns out that for every cohort, a Gladio group that you put in the field, let's say you have 9 field people, you're going to need about 2 support officers, 2 intelligence officers, whatever you want to call it. These guys are doing support functions to make sure these guys don't get killed. These guys are eyes forward, eyes focused. These guys are kind of handling the periphery. So that's why you're going to see the Awans setting up the cars, the houses, the computers, all the things that you need to equip these hackers as they come into the United States. So, and I believe these brotherhoods are going to be cohorts of about 11. I think that the ratio is going to be about 9 to 2. And the reason I say that is I'm going back to the old Gladio program and the old Gladio B program of the CIA. That's exactly what the ratios were. I think the reason, again, to use ISI in the U.S. To dope the routers and so forth, and dope the wireless routers and wiretaps and so forth, is because FBI does not need to open an assessment. CIA can just open liaison operations here with the liaison loophole. They don't have to go to the president. And I think I figured out the badges. I think I figured out the top secret access here, and I'll go into that. For those who didn't see the last episode, you have these 3 Awan brothers making $160,000 a year, and this one technology company that's selling these routers back to the United States as a government contractor. I think this is an important proprietary here, because otherwise there's no way to get the router back in. You have to steal the router to take it out, obviously, to dope it, but then you got to get it back in somehow. But this is going to require complicity, and this is where I believe DynCorp comes in. Those 30 agencies, those 30 federal agencies where DynCorp has purchasing power, FBI, CIA, DHS, all those Federal Bureau of Prisons, that's where you're going to find the contracts with Nanoset Technologies. Now, maybe they're a subcontractor to Lightbridge Communications. Maybe they're a subcontractor to somebody else like AAIT. But I believe Nanoset Technology is going to be the technology provider to those providers like Base One, for instance. As I mentioned before, I kind of had the eureka moment when I saw these 22 companies for housing, doing the rice marketing, and also the car companies all lining up at 16-month segments. That is going to be, I believe, the amount of time an operative is going to come in from Pakistan, and they're going to have 16 months. That's why you open up the companies for them, so that they can drain the company and have money to live on. You bring in the rice for them to have drugs for them to sell, so they have money to while they're doing their mission. The reason why you do that is you don't want any footprints. You don't want anybody applying for licenses. You don't want people swiping credit cards. You don't want any footprints at all. You don't want people taking out bills for their house and so forth, for cable bills and so forth. Those are all footprints. Again, look at Base One buying from, I believe it's going to be Base One buying from Nanoset Technologies. The badges, I couldn't figure out how they're doing the badges. How are they cloning the badges for these cohorts that are coming in to the United States? And then I figured it out. I read one news story where it said Imran brought a operative, or brought someone through the first day to introduce him, kind of walking him through. So he had the top secret badge. He's walking the person through and saying, hey, this guy's going to start tomorrow. He's already been a contractor at that company, so Imran just gives the guy his badge the next day. If he's ever stopped by a guard and they look at the badge for the photo, he has a second badge with his photo. But the operative badge, the one Imran got originly, is what he uses to get through the door. Nobody ever checks. So that's exactly what happened with Mohammed Hunsla. That's why he was living at the Hawkshead Drive house. He was walked through wherever Lightbridge, wherever he did, whatever contracts he did with Lightbridge. It's going to probably be under the name of Muhammad H. Awan. As a matter of fact, I know it's going to be under the name Muhammad. They're going to go with the first initial of the middle name, and they're going to add Awan at the end. That's how he keeps separate all the different agents that are working around. And I think they're doping this system, this Global Information Grid, Defense Information Systems Agency. I think they're also going to be doing the DHS systems. This is why the top secret access is so important, because when you clone the access, you don't want to clone low-level access. You want to clone the secure, compartmentalized access. Again, I think this NGA information is going to be very important. just as important as the NSA information. This is just another Snowden waiting to happen when this story breaks with NGA and Clapper. This story here with local Gary airport and the flight records, FAA flight records, USDA flight records, is going to be the next big story. There's going to be 22 different operating pods in the United States, with Gary being the key point of distribution. I won't say much more than you're going to find the number 111 is the number that are going to be in the training class, I believe. I believe if this is not his father, if this Mohammed Shah is not Imran Awan's father, which I believe it is because his name is Shah and they all liked his birthday pictures over the years. If that's not his father, it's at least his trainer, the trainer of his pod or his cohort for ISI. As I mentioned before, here are the 4 rice shipments spaced out 16 months apart. And here are the articles of incorporation. And I think they're going to run the support officers first, to keep the support officers there about a 4-year tour of duty. And I think they're going to bring in the field officers every 16 months. It looks like, according to the patterns here. Again, this is off the Awan brothers video. You're going to see a lot of references to the number 111. The video is called 111 Awan Brothers. There are a lot of devil symbols and so forth. The number 111 with in Arabic, it should be going this way, sorry. 111 Awan Brothers. This is all from one video. The song is called 111. I believe the cohorts are 111, so it's going to be, I think, 3 cohorts of 33, and then there's going to be 15 officers or whatever is left over in this group. And this is the group that's coming through. Customers should have 1R. I don't know how that possibly could happen. Last thing I'll say is Saeed Fay, F-A-I. I think I mentioned earlier, I just called him Saeed. I have articles. I said he was going to be ISI. I have a whole bunch of listings down below where he admits to being ISI and the Kashmiri separatist group. The reason why Kashmir is so important, that's right up by that line. That's right up by that border with Tajikistan, where the drugs are going through. Again, the 20 burglaries, we need to come up with a list of people who were burglarized and police reports to be published to the web along with photographs. So somebody asked me about Wolfowitz and said, why do you have Wolfowitz there? Because it's been a few episodes since I talked about it. This guy was the original guy who set up the rat line in Iraq, the Iraq rat line, drug rat line, and human body parts rat line from Iraq to Iran. All the way back in 2004. So that's enough for today.